Welcome to Ode to Games. My name is Logan Plant, joined today by Zach Ross. Hello, Zach.
Hello.
We've also got Kevin Valine. How's it going, Kev?
Going good. Last
We
Smash discussion we got going on here today.
Forever.
sad, sad. Well, we'll have to talk about once we play as him too. But
Yeah,
this is the
that's true.
last
Yeah.
new character that we'll have. First, I want to say, if you're not watching our video version of YouTube, we're all very color coordinated today. Zach and I are matching almost exactly with red, and then Kevin's got the magenta purple going on over
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
Close,
Not
close
too far
enough.
off.
Some shade of red.
Yeah. Are we all dressed like that? What are Sora's shorts red? Is that how that are they red, Zach?
In Kingdom Hearts 1, they are.
The super fat ones, the fat pants.
Yep.
Yeah. hmm So that is the big bombshell final add to Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, the sixth and final character of Fighters Pass 2. It is Sora from Kingdom Hearts. He was leaked like 3 months ago. No one thought it was real, and it was real. He's coming out a couple of Mondays from now. October 18th is when he'll launch and be able to play as him. Final Me costume, the big one, is Doomslayer did get in as a Meat Gunner costume. So he was rumored to be a fighter for a long time. But yeah, before we kind of get into a wider Smash discussion now that this thing is over, Zach, big Kingdom Hearts guy, I know you soured a little bit after Kingdom Hearts 3 and the DLC. What's your take on this one?
I've never soured on the franchise. Loyal
That's not true.
fan my entire life. Definitely big news with Sora coming out as the last Smash Ultimate Fighter. Wasn't super expecting it, even the leak came out, but I wasn't 100% sold that it was gonna be Sora, but I'm satisfied. You know, like you said, I've been a huge Kingdom Hearts fan my whole life. Sora's a great addition to the game. He looks great. So first impressions, just pretty happy to have two characters in a row that I'm super stoked for.
Yeah, it was a really Zach way to end the past with
It
Tekken and,
was.
and Kingdom Hearts. Kev, you have some experience with the Kingdom Hearts franchise. How'd you feel about Sora getting in?
Yeah, it was cool to see. I have to imagine that it was a real pain to get it through both Disney and Square Enix to get him in there.
Mm-hmm.
But when we also found out that there was a poll back for Smash for Wii U about most wanted characters and that Sora topped that list, it was really cool that years later, one, that didn't get leaked, and two, that at the very end, they were able to make Sora the last character. I feel like that's pretty fitting for Smash Ultimate.
Did you
Yeah, it's
guys
like
vote for
I
the
did.
poll?
I did
I
not.
did.
I did not.
Remember who you voted for, Logan?
I voted for Banjo and Kazooie.
Oh wow, I voted
Yeah.
for Waluigi.
Damn.
It did not pan out.
I think I submitted two ballots because you could do like up to five per IP address, and I submitted one for Banjo and then Shovel Knight, who got in as a just an assist trophy, but he's still a representative of the game, which is pretty cool. But yeah, I thought it was crazy to hear that too because I remember at the time they said Bayonetta is who capped Smash 4 along with Corrin. They were the last two announced on the same day. And Bayonetta, they said at the time, was the most wanted fighter, but they had that asterisk, and then in the bottom right it said of realizable characters. So it's like they just did not think Sora was a realizable option. Maybe Disney or Square Enix didn't want it at the time. Remember in Smash 4, Cloud only came with two songs, and so it was like bare minimum effort from the partnership with Square Enix. So they fixed that with Sephiroth. There's 9 Final Fantasy songs now, 9 Kingdom Hearts songs coming too. Of course, the Dragon Quest collaboration as well. Square Enix went from only having one third-party character in Smash to having four, which is the most of any company besides Nintendo represented in Smash. So that's kind of cool. But have you guys seen a Christmas Story?
On a long time.
Okay. Well, it's like he wants the BB gun the entire time, and
Yeah.
he's begging for this BB gun. And on Christmas morning, they tear open all their presents, and he gets like everything on his list except the BB gun. And then his dad surprises him at the very end of Christmas morning with the BB gun. And that's what this was. The thing everyone wanted the most, according to the ballot, and it's the last thing to end it with. I thought that was pretty cool.
I wonder if there were more unrealizable characters that were more, and they just didn't say anything about that either.
Yeah, I want to know who else was on that ballot. I know King K. Rool, the Belmonts, and Banjo were big results from the ballot that are all got in because of the ballot. So yeah, I remember it was really cool, and they did that. Everyone was like, "Big Chungus for Smash." I remember it.
Not realizable, unfortunately.
Yeah, so Zach, his stage is Hollow Bastion. It's from the end of Kingdom Hearts 1, and you seemed a little surprised by that choice.
But yeah, Hollow Bastion's a pretty big like Kingdom Hearts original stage, not Disney related. So I'm not surprised that they went with that kind of stage. But I really thought it was going to be Destiny Island, which is like the main way it kicks off Kingdom Hearts 1. It's Sora's home island. So I really thought that was going to be the pick. But I mean, there's already some island stages like the Animal Crossing stages. They probably look pretty similar. So
Yeah.
they might have just gone with some more diversity, or I don't know what the thought behind it was, but Hollow Bastion's a pretty cool stage, and the way they showed it off, them floating around, looking at it in the background, it was pretty cool. And not only that, but halfway through the battle, or after a while into the battle, it switches to the tutorial stage, which is inside a person's heart. It's just stained glass floors with like Nomura depictions of the different characters, minus some of the Disney characters that were.
All of the Disney characters.
All of the Disney characters are gone.
Yeah.
It's a really cool stage transition. I like it a lot.
Yeah, I think that's cool too. It's really it's unique that it only changes when like the battle's almost over. I think that that's really cool. There's no other stage that really changes depending on the flow of the battle. They all kind of operate on timing. So I think that's neat. But yeah, let's get to that. The complete absence of Disney. I think that on this show I said I thought Sora was a weird pick because if you have Disney characters, it's weird to have Disney characters in Smash. And if you don't have Disney characters, it's weird to have Sora without them. So they opted for the route without them, whether that was Sakurai's choice to keep it video games only, or Disney being impossible to negotiate with. That's the route they went. So Kev, how do you feel about just Sora, no Disney, except for the Mickey Mouse logo hanging off the key?
Yeah, it is kind of funny that they do at least have that. That's the one thing that you can point to be like, oh, there's Disney. Just like, how'd they get that through? In most instances, I think it's fine. Like, in regular combat and everything, it's not particularly noticeable. I thought it would have been cool to have them as cameos for, like, the final Smash. Just to have, like, Goofy and Donald show up for that.
That was my first instinct. I was like, if they're going to be there, it's going to be like a Trinity attack in the final Smash.
Yeah, but I could understand if that was just too much work to get all of that through. Because they can pull it off with just Sora, and then they've got all the shout-outs to the other Kingdom Hearts characters that are Square Enix, not Disney. So, it works out.
Yeah, it does. I just think it's kind of strange. I also thought the final Smash was going to be their big Goofy and Donald's big reveal because Sakurai during the presentation was even like, "Oh, we won't show." And then they did show it like 5 minutes later.
That was weird. Yeah, where he's like, I want you to find this out for yourselves.
Yeah.
Now watch this trailer where it shows up.
Yeah, I thought that's where they'd show up. But yeah, I was not personally thrilled with the ad. I am not attached to Kingdom Hearts. I was hoping for someone I had more personal attachment to for the last character. But just seeing some of the reactions and just like the celebration, and I mean, this was such a long shot pick. I think it's just Smash Ultimate's already like the craziest crossover ever, and just to get a character from a series filled with crazy crossovers is pretty cool way to cap it off.
Yeah, it's the one that fans wanted, and I think it's a good way to end it. I was thinking before, I was just like worried that they would pick someone that doesn't have as much of a reach, or pick someone who they pick mainly because a new game is coming out and it just kind of like flops.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that Sora has such a wide appeal that I think it works super well for having him be the last character, especially with the poll results coming out later.
Yeah, I wish we would see that whole poll. I don't think we ever will, though. But I just want to know who else was up there. Yeah, but
I'm like thinking back to Byleth being the last character of the first Fighters Pass, and it's just like, ooh, like.
Well, what's more egregious than that is Corrin was the last character.
Right? Yeah, they could have done
4.
something like that. Yeah. So I think Sora is a great pick.
I think the pick that everyone was wondering about was the Shin Megami Tensei 5 protagonist, since that's coming out next month. Just throw them in at the last second.
Yeah.
Yeah, which would have been meh. So this was cool. It was awesome to see it totally break the internet just like Steve did, and to see #thank you Sakurai trending all day after that presentation, I thought was really special.
He's been working on this thing for a long time. When he
Many
said
years.
It was like 3.5 years since we first got a look at it, I'm like, how has it been 3.5 years?
Yeah, it's crazy. Oh yeah, I'm emotional. It's over. My favorite game of all time, and I don't think it'll ever be passed. I don't see, even if there's another Smash game, which is something we should talk about at some point, is what the heck is next with this series. But even if there is another one, I don't think you can pass the hype and just the magnitude of this game, just pulling in everybody at the start, and then with its DLC, pulling off some of the most ridiculous fan requests that were out there. It's a miraculous game, and I'm so glad that it exists.
Yeah, they keep on outdoing themselves. You start off the first Fighters Pass with Joker, which was wild, and you end it with Sora, and you have all of this other stuff in between, everyone going crazy for Banjo, and you've got Steve from Minecraft. Like, there are so many crazy picks that, like, before we saw what the DLC was capable of, you wouldn't even think about happening.
No.
And then there it is.
Yeah, and then some nice smaller ads too. Like, I mean, Hero was extraordinary for us. But for a lot of people, he was probably kind of throwaway. But right, like a year after our deep dive into Dragon Quest XI, and to not just get a Dragon Quest character, but to get the one from the game that we played and loved was unreal for us. And then I like seeing Min Min get in there as just an ARMS representative. But speaking of that, Kev, we're going to talk about our favorite ones, aren't we?
Yeah. So we've got a list of 3 or 4 picks.
Four. I couldn't decide.
I have 3. I think you guys have 4 of our most hyped Smash ads from Smash Ultimate, now that we have wrapped up all of the characters that have gotten their reveals for Smash Ultimate. So since you guys have 4, why don't you start off with your first 2? I'll throw it to Zach. Your first 2, or why not just go through your list, actually? Zach, why don't you go through your list of your most hyped Smash ads?
Great. So the first one I've got on my list is one from before Smash Ultimate came out. It was a reveal trailer leading up to the release of the game. It was incredible because they killed Luigi in it, which was unprecedented at the time. They had not killed a Mario character in the past. And then the Belmonts come out. So we got Simon Belmont to kick it off. He falls in right after Luigi gets murdered. He's fighting Death, which is a pretty popular antagonist in the Castlevania series. He whips out his whip, not intended. Then he's fighting Death, going pretty bad, and then Richter comes out. So 2 characters per one trailer. I hope that counts. This is like technically 5 characters, but yeah. I just go back and I watch that trailer a lot because it is presented in a very cool way, and I didn't even like the Belmonts at the time, but now that I've gotten way more into the Castlevania series, it's really cool to go back and see how hyped that would have been if I was into the series. So it was a great trailer leading up to the release of Ultimate. And then after it came out...
You got into the series because of it, which is really cool.
Absolutely. I got really into the Belmonts Smash Ultimate, and that's what made me want to get more into the Castlevania series. So thank you, Smash. And then after Smash came out, there was a plethora of amazing ads for the DLC characters. All started off with Hero, like Logan said, right after coming off of Dragon Quest XI, hype for a long time. The trailer starts and it's Link getting beat up like nobody's business. He's just getting destroyed. And Link was my old main, so I was like, well, time for my new main to roll in and save my old main, and then the Luminary just comes in and saves Link, and it's like the coolest epic shot, and the music starts playing, and it just pans up from his feet, and that's a pretty great trailer right there. I love that trailer a lot. And then a more recent trailer, not the most recent, but the one before that, I was watching it with Logan. We were in the same room, and the trailer starts, and then I immediately know it's a Tekken trailer. I don't even know how. I had the feeling surge through me that it was a Tekken trailer, and then I was like, all right, it's Heihachi Mishima, but no. It's his much more evil son, Kazuya Mishima, who is one of my favorite characters in the franchise. So this was a very me ad. I don't know who was
before they showed it. Like, he was still throwing Ganondorf off the cliff, and you just scream, "It's Kazuya Mishima!" And I was like, I don't even know who that is. But Zach's freaking out over here.
Yeah, I love Kazuya, so I think he was definitely targeted towards me, that ad, so I love that a lot. The trailer was pretty funny. He just kept tossing people off to their death, which...
Kirby lived.
Kirby's got a crazy recovery, so he can't be killed that way. And then my last honorable mention, we've already talked about it quite a bit, but Sora. The trailer is pretty good. A great callback to the first trailer with the giant Smash logo on fire. And I really thought it was like a Dark Souls character there with like a campfire in the middle of the darkness, but nope, he picked up the fire and threw it as a keyblade. It was pretty cool. Sora came out in a very Kingdom Hearts fashion, like falling down. That's just his style. He just likes to float there. But yeah, that was a really good trailer, a great way to finish it off, and that's my 4 or 5 depending on how you look at it. Favorite Smash ads that I've seen over recent times.
All right, I'll go next. Save Logan for last since he is the biggest fan of this game. For me, I'll start with Steve. I think it's just because it's the most crazy pick. Like, you watch that trailer and just like, there's no way. And then you hear the sound effects from Minecraft. You're like, there's no way. He pops in and it's boom, there he is. I think out of all of the characters, Steve blew my mind the most because you just didn't think it would work. Like his mechanics, the amount of things they had to like change and add in to him getting materials and all this crazy stuff. And just the fact that they were able to pull it off and do it just blew my mind. And I think at that point, like with the other characters, it was already like, whoa, we can go to like all of these different properties and companies, like lots of options. And then when Steve came out, it was like, all right, anything goes. Like they could do anything, any of these characters. No one is completely off the table. I think that's what blew my mind about Steve the most. And as someone who played Minecraft a lot back in the day, it was a really cool ad. Hero, not much more to say that Zach didn't already say, but as a fan of Dragon Quest XI, it was cool to see him make an appearance, even though probably not a lot of people cared too much about him. To see representation from some of the other Dragon Quest heroes from games past was also really cool. Yeah, that was good. And then Joker, of course. I love Persona 5. The first one was also pretty mind-blowing at the Game Awards. Yeah. You just think it's
the night the game came out, which is crazy.
And I think a lot of people, myself included, just thought it was like a Persona thing. Like some sort of spin-off or like just something with the main game. And then it's like, boom, there's Smash. And it's like, what? Like, I think it was a pretty good trendsetter for the rest of the DLC. Was just like, here it is. This is crazy, and it can only get crazier from here. Here's a bunch of other crazy picks. Just having it at the Game Awards, having it be that type of a bombshell thing, I think it set off what came later with the rest of the DLC super well.
Yeah, and it was cool because that one and I think Pyra's are the only two where you didn't know it was a Smash trailer as it was happening. So you're just like, oh, is it Xenoblade DLC? Oh, is this something new Persona? And then it's like, oh, here's the envelope. And it's whoa. Yeah. For Pyra, I was like, no, that's disappointing. But for Joker, I was like, that's
that's cool. Super cool going over to Sega and Atlas and getting that. Yeah, those would be my 3.
And I have 4. My 4th is Steve because I had just a weird up and down with that because for years I was like, I don't want Steve in Smash because I thought it would be weird. But I guess I shouldn't have doubted the team and Sakurai and the developers because they just made it seamless. He's so much fun to play. And the second I actually saw it, I'm like, oh, wait, I love Minecraft. Why did I ever think I didn't? Like, I played Minecraft forever when I was a kid. I think Steve's inclusion is what kicked off the 3 of us playing Minecraft for the little bit that we did. Was right after Steve got added, we picked up Minecraft and played together. And it's like, it kind of just brought me back into that era of my childhood for a little bit. I think that having Alex and Enderman and Zombie as the alternate skins is super cool. So, yeah, that one. And Twitter literally went down that day. It was done. It crashed because right after Steve was announced, which is just so unbelievable, just the reach of this game. My number 3 is actually my favorite trailer, not my favorite character ad, but the Game Awards Sephiroth trailer was so cool and so out of left field. I don't think we had ever even talked about Sephiroth joining Smash. And then it was just like, oh, he's here now. And it was such a cool trailer to have all the characters with the lift that they've used in so many trailers. And then they're like, who just like cut Galeem in half? And then Cloud is like, Sephiroth. And you're like, oh my God, it was so unbelievable. He skewers Mario, but then it's just him hanging on to his overall. One of the funniest things. And that's just an ad I didn't know I wanted until I saw it either. And that was super, super cool. And I love the thing they did with him where you could unlock him early if you fought him as a boss. I thought that was super unique. And that was like 9 months after Zach and I and Kevin eventually played Final Fantasy VII Remake. So it was just like, man, a character we also care about just recently just got added into Smash, and it's awesome. And then number 2 is Banjo, and number 1 is Hero. It's no surprise. Hero and Banjo announced the same day, E3 2019. They were the top 2 on my wish list. I will never believe that we got them on the same day. Like my 2 most wanted characters in the entire pantheon of video games added to Smash on the same day. And Hero was already enough. And then Banjo just coming in at the end with such an awesome, just celebratory trailer of like Donkey Kong, Diddy Kong, K. Rool, like literally for him and Kazooie that they were finally in. Just so awesome. And I also love that Hero and Banjo are like my 2 favorites to play as also. Like that, there could have been a character I love that got added that I just hated playing. Like Chrom. That's true. I do not like playing as Chrom, but to have these 2 that I love playing as is pretty awesome. And Hero, yeah, that's besides the announcement of Smash Ultimate and the Everyone Is Here trailer, like the Hero reveal is like the most hype moment I've ever had watching a trailer. Like it was just so unbelievable what I was seeing, that Dragon Quest XI was in Smash and the Hero was there, and that the stage was the world map, and it was just unbelievable. Great DLC.
Yeah.
Like I look at the DLC and it's like my favorite characters to play in this game are DLC. I love playing as Terry. I had no idea who he was before this game, but I love playing as him. Min Min's a blast to play as. Like Byleth's even fun to play as, even if I don't really care for him as a character. So it was just a phenomenal 2 seasons of DLC.
And I think, like you guys mentioned before, of getting back into series or discovering series for the first time, Smash has always been really good with that. I mean, you go back to Melee and Fire Emblem, and no one knows what Fire Emblem is, but you're playing as Marth in Melee, and just the reach that the game has for all of these like DLC characters. And I'm sure that there are a bunch of people that have discovered new game series and characters that they love, from the new characters that were added to the base game and all the DLC. And that's been one of the coolest things about Smash forever, basically, since Melee. And up till now, it's just all of these series getting represented and allowing people to find new series to enjoy is super cool.
I wouldn't have given a crap about Earthbound if Ness and Lucas weren't in Smash. And I adore Earthbound. I wouldn't have tried all the F-Zeros if Captain Falcon hadn't only been hanging on to relevant Smash Brothers. So yeah, it is really important, and it is awesome trying these games or revisiting these games because they get added. Like, we didn't mention this yet, but Kingdom Hearts coming to Switch with a big asterisk via the cloud. But a lot of people will probably try these out for the first time because Sora's in Smash now. And it's just a really cool thing that Smash can do.
How does it feel that it's done?
Sad. I'm sad it's over. It was like, I was telling you, we watched it together. I couldn't sleep. I was so nervous about who it was going to be and looking forward to it. And now it's over, and I don't know what happens to the series from here.
Yeah, don't know if we'll have time today to talk about it. Maybe we can talk about that once we have thoughts on Sora when he comes out, and once the character's out and the game is done. But there are a lot of question marks, both with where the series goes from here, where's Sakurai's role in it, if there is any much from him. Like, there's a lot of question marks there, but can still enjoy what we have in Ultimate.
I'll be playing this game forever. Like, I'll never stop playing this game. Like, even if there's a new one, I don't think this one will ever be passed unless they pull off Everyone Is Here again.
Plus
which,
more.
No way.
That'd be crazy.
No, I don't think so.
That would be crazy. Yeah, in the announcement, Kingdom Hearts is coming to Switch via the cloud. I understand for Kingdom Hearts 3. I get it. That game's a relatively new game, and that thing looked gorgeous on PlayStation. Say what you will about the rest of the game, but it was a little weird that like 1.5 and 2.5, these are PS2 remasters for a lot of them.
You would think that the Switch would be able to handle 1.5 and 2.5, but apparently not.
I think
it's just
it can.
the file size, and they just didn't care enough to try and
because it is
make
more
it
than just the base games. There's like other games included.
All the games in there, and they're like, what, 50, 60 gigs for each one. And they're just, maybe Square Enix is just like, do we really need to try to like get these on a Switch? Some people will play it via the cloud.
I was reading about that, and I was reading about how much cheaper it is to do that. And so it's just the laziest move from Square Enix, which is a shame because it was kind of a weird footnote in this huge day of celebration of Sora and Kingdom Hearts and Smash Brothers to be like, only through the cloud. It's like, that's so weird.
Yeah.
cloud is in these games, right? But we don't need to only play them on the cloud.
I'm still curious how these cloud games have performed. Like we had Control that came out a while ago. We had I don't think we've heard at all
Hitman
how
3.
well they Hitman 3. Like I don't think we've heard how well they've done. I'd be curious like how many people played them and for how long they actually did. But for people who have no other option to play Kingdom Hearts, it's cool that that's there at the very least. Also, Sora wasn't confirmed as an amiibo yet.
Did
they confirm
They always
after?
do that, which is weird because they're always like, "Oh, we're working on amiibo for these characters," and they never say the character they're talking about.
Okay.
So he'll get one.
Where?
He'll definitely get one.
Alex is getting one.
As the last character.
Yeah, Alex. That was a surprise.
Yeah, that was cool. It's not just Steve.
Yep. 2 blocky amiibo going on the shelf.
Probably easy to manufacture.
Yeah.
An extra set of
I
cash
didn't
that
notice
Logan has
until
to
I
pay.
saw the amiibo that Alex is like, her arms are slightly thinner and like her whole body is slightly thinner too. I always thought they were just the same model, just with a different skin, but they are actually slightly different sizes.
Weird.
Never mind.
Yeah.
Not a cheap move. It's just a
Yeah.
move.
Yep.
Dedication. All right. Do we want to move on to the other big piece of content here that we've been talking about for weeks
Yeah.
and months?
Yes.
Banana Mania is here, and Logan has played it, and now we'll finally get to hear if it's any good or not.
And my initial reaction, I texted you guys and said I hated it. And I don't know if that's true anymore. I kept playing it, and I can't stop playing it now.
Okay.
And I don't know what I think of it. So, Super Monkey Ball Banana Mania, remake of 1 and 2 in Deluxe. And there's some things I absolutely love about it, with a bunch of asterisks that I absolutely hate. What do we want first? What I like or what I hate?
Well, first,
You're like-
did you get it physically with the DLC?
I
That's
got
what
it
you want.
digitally.
You got it
When I was
digitally.
reading reviews about it, and I was like, oh, gosh, it doesn't sound good. I was like, I don't need this on the shelf forever. So I got it digitally because I had a lot of time on Friday to play, and it was the thing Sega does where it's like 4 days early.
Hate that.
And so I just went. And also with the digital deluxe, I didn't have to pay extra for the DLC, so I got it cheaper than if I got the physical version and then had to buy the DLC.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
yeah. Digital deluxe.
Why don't we start off with the bad and get to the good
Okay.
after? End it off.
The physics are horrible. They ruined how this game plays. It does not feel the same, really at all. And I think for the first 5 hours, I was like, I can't get over that it's not as tight. And it's exactly what I said in the video reviews that I'd watched last week. That when you tilt the stick forward in the classics, in the arcade versions and in the GameCube versions, your stick is a 1-to-1 with the stage. The second you push it all the way forward, the stage tilts all the way forward. Now there's a delay. There's a delay when you push it all the way forward and the stage slowly just glides forward. And it's totally for those more precise sections where you have to really nudge the stick along. If you're on like a really narrow pathway, or if you're on like a checker box pattern where you have to you're on a square and you have to get to another square, but the only way across is diagonally. It's for those moments because you don't have to push the stick as much. But in other moments, say like high speed moments, like you launch yourself off a ramp and then you need to pull way back to slow yourself down to land so you don't fly past the goal, it's not as responsive. So you can't pull off as many skillful moves as you used to be able to because the physics aren't built that way anymore. It's built to be more forgiving for beginner players and eliminates a lot of things expert players rely on. There are strategies I use in some of the most brutal stages in the game that just don't work anymore. And so I've had to work around it. And so in an effort to make the game, I think, easier for casual players, they made it harder. And if you ever actually do work up your way to those difficult levels, you'll have a harder time. And I'm actually playing as Gon, not Ai, because Ai is terrible. He is terrible in this game. Like, Gon has better grip, and he can slow down faster. Ai just can't stop on a dime because he's too light. And that coupled with the new stage physics, it's just broken. So Gon is apparently my main now, which is... but I hate that about it. The new soundtrack is terrible. Switch it to the old immediately. The
Was the
voices
old
are
DLC?
terrible. Yes, but it's in the digital deluxe edition.
Oh my god.
So it was another $5 that I didn't have to spend getting digital
so
deluxe.
dumb.
Yeah. So I'm playing as classic looking Gon is who I'm playing as. Um, yeah, the sound effects are terrible. Like the ball rolling, it's just these such minor details that you take for granted in the old game, and it's making me realize that Super Monkey Ball 2 is probably like a top 5 game for me of all time. Like I think it's that good. It's like the ball rolling sounds the same no matter what speed you're going. When in the originals, it like whoop, 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 ramps up and is really nice. And then when you finish, and it's just the presentation, when you go through a goal, your monkey flies up to the next stage, right? Like goal, and then your ball just flies up to the sky. And when the camera pans up to the sky in the old ones, you see the silhouette of the next stage you're going to, as if you're actually moving up this world and you see the next stage above you. That's just gone, and it just feels cheap. And it's like just those super minor things that shouldn't matter, but they do, because it just adds this level of polish and quality that's just not there. So that's not good. No multiplayer is egregious. It's not there at all. Like I was worried about it last week. The only multiplayer in this game is in the party games. If you want to play classic Super Monkey Ball challenge mode with your friends, you can't. You just can't. Not even online. It's like, nope, that party games only. And that's what I do the most in Monkey Ball, because the party games are fun, but the challenge is what keeps you coming back. So that is just unbelievably disappointing. I can't even believe that. Like, I thought Zach would come over, we'd play this game for like a whole weekend. Like, I thought we would just play every level. But now we'd have to like take turns, or he'd have to like buy it himself when we play side by side. Those are both not going to happen. Yeah, so that's it.
I saw it in a store today, and I almost bought it.
Maybe that could happen.
Do I do it?
Yeah. But I am playing on a GameCube controller, so that's really nice. But those are most of the things that I dislike.
That seems like very core tenets of the game, though.
I dislike pretty much everything.
And no multiplayer.
The physics and the
presentation and the music that's in the
way
base
it looks,
game.
the way it feels, the way it sounds, you know.
But here's what I love about it. Oh, also, I think that no lives is bad. It took, well, I don't know. So here's the good things about it, which is why I'm really torn on this game. I love the way the levels are set up. I love how it's split up into the classic. Super Monkey Ball 1 and Monkey Ball 2 are separated, and the deluxe levels are actually a bonus that you have to buy with in-game points in the store. Not real money, in-game points in the store. And so I love that those are all separated, so you can play through, this is what's in Monkey Ball 1, this is what's in Monkey Ball 2, and this is what we added in deluxe. That's fantastic. They made tweaks to some of the most brutal levels to make them a little easier, which I was iffy about because I wanted this to be a straight remake. But in the store, for like 10,000 bananas, you can buy the original versions of the levels they changed. So it's like, hey, we changed 30 of this game's hardest levels. Here are their original versions that you can buy as a bonus. And I love that. I love that that's there. I think that's great. There's missions, which kind of makes the lack of lives more meaningful. Because, for example, on expert mode, which is 60 stages, there's a mission where it's like, complete these 60 stages in 99 lives or less. So there's the motivation to go and practice these stages and get better at these stages. Because when there were no lives, it's just like, well, I mean, it's your own will if you want to quit or not. Because if you don't quit, you can make it through as long as you can eventually clear the stages. There was no tension. But if you decide to go on a run where you're trying to clear it, there is tension. And so I will really like that that's there. There's other missions in there too, like speed run challenges, collect this many banana challenges, and there's a really easy way to keep track of them. So that's great too. And there's some other special modes, like Dark Banana mode is really cool, where there's bananas scattered all over the stage, and if you touch one, it's game over. There's Backwards mode, where there's 10 stages, and you start where the goal is, and you have to get to where you usually start, which changes them up in some really cool ways. So the bonuses like that, the way the levels are split up, the inclusion of the deluxe levels, the original levels as a bonus, it's awesome. It just doesn't feel as good to play. So it's like, man, even if they just fixed how the stage felt, I would love this game. But right now I'm incredibly torn on it because I love the content that's in there. I just don't love how you interact with it. So I'm just extremely torn on this game.
I would feel like how the game plays is probably the more important thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, the fact, Like, it's cool that the old stages are in there that you can buy, but that makes me question why the old soundtrack is not available as like an in-game purchase and why you got to go pay for that.
Yeah.
Or the old skins.
Yeah.
Like, why?
Yeah, that
Why
stuff
only
should
one
be
of
in there.
those?
Mhm. Oh, and I recently unlocked the jump, which is also something you buy in the store. And it's crazy, but in this game, I love the jump because in Banana Blitz, the levels are designed around jumping, but in this game, 0 levels are designed around jumping. So it feels like God mode when you just go in and turn on the jump, and you can just pull off this crazy, ridiculous stuff with the jump that you could never do before. So it's like if you just want to have fun experiencing levels I've been playing for 20 years in a new way, I just flip on the jump and I see if I can make it to these places using the jump. And it's like a really fun ad that because the levels are so well designed, it doesn't feel out of place. So the jump I'm actually a big fan of that they included because the level design is just so strong even without it.
It's like a little like cheat that you can.
Yeah. And also none of your records are saved if you have jump turned on. So like you can't like use the jump cheese and then upload your records online. So it's just purely for fun or for people who do need the help to get through. There's a couple other accessibility modes like double the timer. You can hold down the left trigger to slow down time. It's something you have to toggle on, but you can slow down time for a little bit to navigate through the areas. So I'm just so torn on it. It will never replace the originals because the originals will always feel better. But I mean, I've played it for like 15 hours in the last week, so I don't know what that. I wanted to come here with a definitive opinion, but I don't think I have it yet.
I wonder if there's any hope for them to add anything to it, or if this is it. You know,
Yeah.
like if they see people complaining that there's no multiplayers, like obviously the physics and stuff, that's what the game's gonna be. But like in terms of additions, like if they'd be willing to do that, or if this is like get it out the door and just be done with it. I wonder if there's any hope for extra content or ads down the road that aren't $5 character skins or whatever.
Yeah. Oh, one more thing that I hate that I forgot to include in the hate section
Cool.
is that so when the stage starts, you know, it like circles around the stage in a huge 360 view and then circles in on your monkey. And it's so you can get a look at the stage, what you're up against. But in this game, it still does that, but the entire screen, corner to corner, is taken over by the name of the level. It's like Super Monkey Ball 2, Challenge Mode, Hard, Level 3, Boulders, or whatever it's called. And it just takes the entire screen up so you can't see the level at all before you jump. So before I was playing every level, I was pausing and stage so I could actually see what I was up against. So that's a really bad design choice. It's just terrible. Super torn. The most mixed I felt on a game in a really long time.
Yeah. Oof.
Zach, you'll have to come over and play it so you can
really want to try out these physics because I wasn't as big on Monkey, but we played a lot of Super Monkey Ball in college, so I definitely know how it feels. But I didn't grow up with that game. I didn't play it for 20 years, so maybe I won't hate it as much, but because I'm not as used to the original physics. But I'm sure it's just gonna feel worse.
I'm just worried I'm going to go back to the originals and just be garbage because I'm getting used to how this one plays now because it's what I'm playing and I don't want that to happen.
That's a concern. Yeah. Stop playing it for so much. Just go back to the originals, maybe.
It's like you ever drive someone else's car that has like more sensitive brakes. So you like touch the brakes how hard you would in your car and then you just lurch to a stop because like you slammed the brakes in that car. That's how this feels. It feels like you're driving a different car on the same roads. And it's just, I don't know. It's so weird. It's such a weird experience. At the end of the day, I wish they were just ports. I wish they were just HD ports of 1 and 2 because I think that's a better experience. But if it revives the series and maybe inspires them to make some good levels, because this is the best Monkey Ball's been in 20. Like there's no Monkey
originals.
Yeah, it's the best Monkey Ball game since Deluxe because everything else after was garbage. But this is still garbage in some ways too.
They can't make it great.
Yeah.
They literally can't.
All right. I think we've been going on all this for long enough. We do have some news to get to. Logan, what do we got in news this week?
Yeah, Metroid reviews are out. They're really good. Anyone want to play it? Anyone going to play Metroid Dread?
Nope.
I'm
That comes out
not
today,
really.
tomorrow.
I will not. I don't think I'm big on the Metroidvania style of game, but for all the people looking forward to it, it's cool that it seems to be living up to everything people were waiting for. How many years has it been since Metroid Dread was rumored?
Like almost
16.
20. Since
So-
Monkey Ball was last good.
Oh my god! So it's good that that it seems to be living up to everyone's hopes for that game over the last 20 years.
Yeah. I still want to like Metroidvania, so I'm going to play it. Hopefully this could be the one.
You playing it on launch, or are you playing other stuff first?
I haven't decided yet. I want to. I've heard it's short, so and I'm free this weekend, so I'm thinking of just sitting down and beating it this weekend. But we'll see.
All right.
I got to go looking for those amiibo.
Start the search.
Yeah.
They're not retailer exclusive anymore, right?
No, they're just really hard to find. Yeah. If you don't get the pre-orders, like the Metroid ones, disappear really quick.
When did the pre-orders go up? Like Amazon and stuff?
Like E3, they went up on Amazon and Best Buy
Okay.
and Target.
But they don't announce when those go up. They just go up.
Yeah.
So for these ones, you don't know when they're gonna show up.
So a little secret tip for any amiibo collectors out there: Best Buy will get these in stock probably at like 9 p.m. Pacific today, the day this comes out. So like you can usually reserve in store for amiibo 9 p.m. the night before they're supposed to come out, because Best Buy does pre-orders and like their in-store stock differently. So that's how I've gotten like the last 10 Smash amiibo is this way. So I'm hoping to get lucky with that again. But now the secret's out. Now the secret's out.
Dang. Now you won't even be able to get it.
Oh no. Yeah, with our listener base of thousands,
Yes.
gonna scoop up those Metroid amiibo. Yeah, but other Nintendo news, real quick. Really happy to get an awesome review scores. Happy to see that series back. I think that Nintendo should scoop up Mercury Steam, the studio, and just make them the Metroid studio, because they made the last two, which both reviewed really well.
And bring Samus Returns to Switch, so that people will play it.
Yes, that game sold like garbage.
As did most post-Switch 3DS games.
Yeah. Yoshi's Woolly World, Poochie and Yoshi's Woolly World. That happened.
Also, if you want to try and get the amiibo from that game, you gotta like sell your family or something, or
The Poochie amiibo.
or the
Yeah.
Metroid one. Isn't the Metroid one like redonkulously expensive?
Yes, it is. It is
Yeah.
really expensive.
Yeah, bring that stuff to
And it's
Switch.
only getting worse.
Yeah, bring it to Switch.
And then other Nintendo news: Animal Crossing Direct is coming October 15th. That's next Friday at 7 a.m. It'll be 20 minutes long. We'll see Brewster
And
who
other
knows
stuff.
What else? Yeah,
Just Brewster.
anyone want to make a prediction?
Booker and Copper. Is that their names?
Oh yeah.
That'd be cool.
So I'll say them. But
Yeah, I'm trying to
what
think of,
haven't
like,
they
old
done? They've been
content.
guards, cops.
Old
The
character.
Lost and Found.
Lost.
Remember that?
Yeah, the Lost.
It's just the
and
lost and found.
Found. Yo, bring back.
It'd be so
Bring back
underwhelming.
gyroids.
Yes,
Yes, please.
That's my pick.
I would
They're bringing back
believe it.
gyroids.
that would be great. I had a basement full of them.
Just all of them dancing and freaking out down there. Just a
Yeah.
room full of demons down there.
So it'll be 2 more shows until we tell you what we think of the Animal Crossing updates. We'll just miss it.
Always brilliant timing on this.
Hope they bring back the downtown from City Folk.
You fly to it. I mean, like,
Yep.
my big. I think it'd be really cool if they could somehow like add a second island for the people that play it the most. Like, I think that's the one that they get the most use out of. But I think there's no way that's gonna happen.
Yeah.
But that'd be cool. That'd be probably.
So
my
look
biggest
forward to that.
wish.
Oh, we got some more news stories here, Kevin. I'm losing my voice. I was screaming at some baseball games all weekend. Can you take us through these news stories?
Yeah, I'll sub in for you this week. So we had TGS 2021 happen. It was just the digital show this year, and there was some games that were showing up: Stranger of Paradise, Final Fantasy Origin. That thing's coming out March 18th, 2022. Gonna be honest, I didn't watch the trailer because after that first time I saw it, I'm like, I have no desire to ever.
What was that word he kept saying in the first trailer?
Chaos.
Chaos. Gotta
Chaos
kill
control.
chaos. Yep.
Chaos Emeralds.
Shadow crossover.
But that comes out March 18th, 2022. So we're getting. a
Who's
release
buying
date for
that next March?
This guy.
So much is coming out in those 2 months. Who's getting that?
Big
This
Final
guy right
Fantasy
here.
fans that want to see the origin that started it all, and all of the
Chaos.
that unfolded after that game. So we got there was some more info on Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak, as well as Monster Hunter Rise also coming to Steam. That kind of ties into another story that we have later down here, that Capcom is trying to focus a lot of its efforts on PC. And it looks like, you had the last Monster Hunter game on there, and now that Rise is coming to Steam, it seems to be the way that Capcom's going. They want to focus a lot of their attention on the PC market. But
I don't like that.
Why not? They're going to forget about the consoles?
I hope not. It seems that's the way Sega's going too, right? I mean, we saw all the Judgment drama. It's like, if it can't go on PC, we're not making it. Seems like that's just the way a lot of these studios, not first party owned, are going, is PC.
Yeah.
I hope it doesn't mean console support's going to end though.
Yeah, you would hope that they would just have it be like simultaneous releases. You know, like, oh, it comes out on console and comes out on PC day and date, and not like, oh, it comes out on
That's
PC
best
first.
case, yeah.
Did you guys see any of the Sunbreak new content? Any thoughts?
Yeah, they showed off. They showed the name of the new flagship monster. I forgot what it was. These names are complicated. It's like Moruzal. That's my best guess.
Like
and
that.
then they showed off another returning monster coming through. It's a crab. I forgot what his name was, but he looked cool. So, I haven't shown off a whole lot about Sunbreak, but there's still a ways before it comes out, so I'm sure they'll be piecemealing some info as we go.
It's time for it.
I just hope it's hard. That's all I want. Just make it hard.
Make it harder.
Yeah.
It's post-game content.
Master rank.
Yeah.
Rank.
We got a first trailer for Aiden Chronicle Rising. It's the whole thing with that is kind of weird. I mean, you've got Aiden Chronicle, which is like the big game that I think everyone's really excited for, and Rising is a spin-off that comes out first, which is a really weird way to release those. But at the very least, the game looks gorgeous. Like, they showed off some gameplay of it, side-scrolling action, plus there's a city building aspect to it, apparently, that gets me intrigued.
That's a Kevin game.
They didn't show that off. It was just the combat section and some dialogue that they showed off, but at the very least, the combat looks fluid and the graphics look really pretty, and I am very curious to see how the town building is gonna come together. So I'm keeping my eye on that, and then of course the actual Aiden Chronicle, gonna keep my eye on that as well. But they didn't really show off too much more of that. I think it was Rising since it comes out first. And then lastly, this is not Western audiences, unfortunately, but Dragon Quest X Offline is launching on February 26, 2022. In Japan only. Still no word on if that's going to come west or not. If you're going to bring over Dragon Quest X, that is the way to do it. You're not going to bring over the online version. This would be the only way to get it done. Remains to be seen if
I would love that.
if they're actually going to
Would
do it.
absolutely play it.
Yeah.
Especially after seeing the trailer at the Dragon Quest showcase.
It's a shame that they just keep dangling that carrot in front of everyone that's not Japan. But yeah, I think it makes sense. It's like, what else is the point of this version? I mean, Dragon Quest X is so popular over there. I feel like anyone who wants to play it would have by now. It just feels like this was made to be localized. They didn't say it would be when they said everything else would be. They were like, the Treasures game, 12, something else I'm forgetting. They're like, it's all getting localized.
It was like a new one that wasn't Treasures, I think. What it was called.
I don't remember anymore.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah, a little disappointing that that's no word on if it comes west or not. Hopefully, once it comes out in Japan, we'll hear some sort of word on it coming out over there, because, again, I think this is its shot. Like, it wasn't going to come out with online, and if it doesn't come out with this, I can't imagine they bring it over ever. Like, this is...
Oh, it was the Octopath style remake of Dragon Quest 3.
Man, that game looks good. Excited for that.
So good.
That's a must play.
Those are the things that I noted from TGS. Anything else that you guys saw that you want to bring up, or is what I got a good list of it?
No Ace Attorney 7. I'm still waiting. I think we'll hear about it early next year. But that's what my eye was out for.
Hopefully.
It didn't happen.
I was just mainly focused on the Monster Hunter stuff as usual.
Yep.
But yeah, that was TGS 2021. We got some more information on the console shortages, and it's not that good. you had AMD and Phil Spencer in interviews saying that most likely the shortages will last until at least midway through 2022. So looking at another almost year, another 8 to 10 months probably at the very least of console shortages. Zach, you're going to be in this boat with me in PS5 eventually. Any thoughts on the shortages continuing for almost another calendar year?
Didn't expect him to end anytime soon, but getting that confirmation is a bit disheartening. I know I will throw my hat in the ring of getting a PS5 sooner rather than later, so it's gonna be a crap show. I know you're already
It
in
has
it.
been for a while. Yeah. Logan, any thoughts from you on this?
Yeah, it's just crazy that we're 2 years deep, or we'll be a year and a half at least into this thing by the time that the shortage ends. It's unbelievable. But the PS5 is outselling the PS4 at this point in life. It's just you just go instantly every single time. The Series S is the only one you can find. Like, and Zach and I both did very easily.
Found it very easily.
Like
Actual in store.
if you decide you want a Series S, you can have one within a week. That is not the case with the other two. The other three, forget the digital PS5 even exists. It's so rare. But yeah, it's crazy, and it's still not a huge problem right now, but it's gonna be when these games start coming out that are PS5. Right now, it's like you're set through the first half of 2022 with Horizon and Gran Turismo being cross-gen, and God of War probably late in the year. But when Spider-Man or Wolverine or KOTOR comes out, that's some
when
people
you're-
already can't play Deathloop.
That's when you're hoping that this prediction actually comes true, that by the end of the first half of 2022 it starts to become easier, because that's kind of the window for a lot of the cross-gen games. It seems like by the time we reach the second half of 2022, it's going to be it. So hopefully that holds true, and that people can actually get these consoles when the games are only coming out for those platforms.
Yeah.
But, yep, the pain continues.
Any luck on the lottery?
Nope.
Any stories?
They had a new lottery at the start of this month. It is my 7th go. No word on that. Amazon Japan has been just doing a first come first serve basis, basically since the console came out. But just the other day they started doing lotteries as well, and it's a pretty quick turnaround on those lotteries. Like, there's a 1-day window to apply for the lottery, and then the very next day, between 1 and 5 p.m., you get an email if you won it or not. And then that's it. And we'll see how long the intervals are between the drops, since this is the first time that they've done a lottery on Amazon. But no luck. Entered 7 Geo lotteries and 1 Amazon lottery, and so far have not gotten anything. It's painful.
It'll happen.
Eventually, yeah. But now that Lost Judgment's out and I'm just playing it on PS4, until Horizon comes out, there's really nothing that I need the PS5 to play. So I'm hoping that over the next 4 months, I get lucky and get it. But who knows? Who knows? Going back a couple of generations, we had news stories about old PS3 store getting shut down, and then Sony pulled that back, and they're like, no, wait, it'll still be up. But the PS3 and Vita stores are stopping acceptance of credit cards and PayPal as payment methods on October 27th. So less than a month away. You can still get it through the later stores. I think you can add money to your account and then get it from there. There's a way to do it. But this definitely makes it more difficult to pay for stuff on the PS3 and Vita stores.
That sucks. I thought they finally understood when they did walk back the decision to shut them down, but now they're like, oh no, they'll still be there. You just can't buy them easily. But yeah, I think it will be easy to just load like $100, $50, whatever you want onto your PS4, and then just log on to your PS Vita, and it'll be like, okay, I have $100 on Vita games now for the rest of my life, and then spend wisely.
Yeah. You just look at these moves, and it just gets you worried of how much longer these things are actually going to be around, because Sony was very, very open to just pulling the plug on these quite recently. And,
Yeah.
you just wonder how long they will be around. But for now, you can still add money and pay for things with your credit card and PayPal until the 27th. And then from there, access on later consoles, and then go back and pay for them on there. But, yep, something to keep an eye on. And then last, Tom Clancy's getting another game, and I get very confused every time there's another game, because there's a Tom Clancy game that is not even out yet, and they announced another one, and I get confused.
Aren't they like different series at this point? Like, was it the Rainbow Extraction or whatever?
Well, you got like Ghost Recon, and then you got Rainbow Six.
Is Splinter Cell Tom Clancy?
It is, but I don't think they're making Splinter Cell anymore. Anyways, Ubisoft getting a lot of money out of Tom Clancy's name. Yeah. So any Tom Clancy fans out there, there's another game coming out. Try and keep them all in track, because there's several of them.
Tom Clancy's still alive?
No, he is not alive, unfortunately.
Okay, cool. I don't know.
So Ubisoft is keeping his name alive with many
I guess so.
games.
He's not getting any money from any of these games.
No, it is all
going to his
Ubisoft.
estate.
Yeah, but another Tom Clancy game, Battle Royale, I think. So
nice. We need more of those.
There's not enough. We need several.
Oh,
of those games.
I totally blanked on this until now. I forgot to put it. But Sony acquired Blue Point Games.
Oh yeah,
recorded
about that. Yeah, it's
so
a good
that's the
acquisition. They do good work.
Shadow of the Colossus remake, Demon Souls remake on PS5, but now they're saying they want to make their own stuff.
Yeah.
Uncharted.
Didn't they port those over?
I don't know.
The collection?
Yeah. Did they not? Am I losing my
remember.
mind?
I don't know.
Sounds potentially right.
But yeah, so
anyways,
I feel like this was only a matter of time. They've been kind of in Sony's pocket for a while. So it makes sense as an acquisition, just like how smart Returnal developers they got a few months back. So yeah, Blue Point Games is now a Sony first-party studio that's going to make original stuff that will probably be similar in tone to Shadow of the Colossus and Demon Souls, grim, gray, dark, but really beautiful games. So that's cool, another studio to have under their belt.
Yeah.
You were right, Kevin. It was the Nathan Drake collection.
Okay. They did do that. All right. Yeah, they've been doing.
They also did the Titanfall port to Xbox 360.
Weird.
I think that's the last thing they did that wasn't
not Sony.
That wasn't PlayStation. Yeah.
Weird.
The only thing they've done that wasn't PlayStation.
Really? They did one thing and then it was all Sony after that.
Yeah.
Dang. All right. Well, makes sense. They're basically tied to Sony at this point.
Yeah.
All right. That is it for news. I'll hand it over to Zach.
Well, that's going to do it for the long list of news we've had this week. We'll move on to what we've been playing. Some new stuff, some old stuff. I know Kevin's been deep into Lost Judgment, so we'll start with you. You can tell us if you have any new thoughts on that.
It's good. 25 hours in, and I've gotten to a lot more to the side stuff. The main story is really good. They've had a bunch of twists and turns already. But, of course, since, one, the game is new, and two, I don't really like spoiling the story content. I won't say too much, but I will say that they do have some moments that get you and some scenes that really stick out. So the story has been living up. And then I've been doing a lot more of the school side stories, and they're a good time. And I think it really showcases how many different gameplay styles that they have in this game, because I'm hopping between going with the dance club and doing the dance mini game, and then I go to the robotics club and I have to help them, do their. You've got like a robot arena thing where it's basically like Tetris. You're like robots and you're going and picking up blocks and having to like fill the board with your Tetris blocks, as well as doing like combat with the other robots. And then you've got the esports club where you're playing a fighting game with them. And then you go to and skateboard with these kids. And then you have to go and infiltrate like a boxing school. Like, there's so many different things going on. It's hard to keep track because you're just like hopping between all of these different cases. And as you go through the cases, you're able to unlock more in the other cases. So they're all kind of interconnected. And in true Yakuza fashion, or Judgment in this case as well, I get completely sidetracked, and there's this like big moment in the story where someone's waiting for me to go do something, and I'm just hanging out with the kids at the skate park and just doing skateboard races through the town while they're just waiting for me. but I've been really enjoying
Nice.
a lot of the side content and different gameplay that the game has. And of course, you've got the drone racing as well. You've got the VR game coming back that is also a good time. I don't know how they do it, but they manage to put in a bunch of all this side content that is a lot of different gameplay styles, and for the most part, it works. Like a lot of games, you look at it, and it's just like, this doesn't feel right. Like it's too much of a departure from the rest of the game, but I think they strike a good balance, and the games still feel like a lot of fun, and they still work well. So I've been enjoying doing a lot of the side content, and I'll get back to the main story as well, because it is quite good. Yeah.
All right.
Those are my thoughts so far.
Yeah,
Still going.
I haven't been able to jump in anymore. I was really busy this week, and then when I have had time, I've just been playing Monkey Ball. But I'm gonna play some more Judgment this weekend. So yeah, I'm excited to keep going through it.
Yeah.
Sounds like a Yakuza Judgment game.
And you get a dog.
Of course.
You get to walk a dog around.
Oh my
And he
god.
like finds cases for you and stuff, and it's cool.
Nice.
He sniffs out those cases.
He does.
What a good boy.
Yeah. It's great.
So now that you've been able to go back for longer to the brawler combat, do you like it? Can you definitively say you like it more?
Ooh. Yeah. I don't know if I can say it definitively. I think I need to finish the game and have some more combat unlocks. At this point, I think I lean towards it a little bit more. I think a lot of it also depends on how they clean it up for the second game in Like a Dragon. Because there was a lot of moments where you're like, you feel like this is the first JRPG style game that they've done, and there's a lot of things to work out. As of now, with the combat that was in Yakuza Like a Dragon, I'd probably go Brawler still.
Okay.
But I'll leave it open for when the sequel comes out, and for what new stuff it throws to me in Lost Judgment for the rest of the game.
Yeah, makes sense.
Good combat, though.
Great. Yeah. Excited to hop into it eventually when I
When
get
are you
through
doing it, Zach?
all the crap on my plate. I'm sorry. We have been beating some games though. I'll start with Halo Reach. Logan and I finally sat down and finished Halo Reach. We were pretty close to the end, but we had a few more levels, couple epilogues, and then got it done. And I personally liked it a lot. I thought it was really great. Beautiful 360 game. Grew attached to Team Noble throughout the course of the game. Didn't really care about them at the beginning, but all the levels were fantastically designed. It was a battle of epic proportions throughout the planet Reach. It was just really solid Halo game, and Chief wasn't even in it, so it was way better than I was expecting. And I heard a lot of good things about it going into it. So I don't know if Logan has any more thoughts on it. I know you were a huge fan of Reach before we played it.
Yeah, it just brought me back. Brought me back to a time when I really was a Halo super. There was a time where Halo was like up there in my favorite series, and then it just fell off after a game we're about to talk about. But hey, going back to Halo Reach was just super nostalgic and shorter than I remember. I think probably because me and my dad were really bad, so we died a lot, and then we just Zach and I ripped through it. But just really good level design. Really varied environments throughout the different levels. I don't ever feel like one level looks the same as a different one, and it just makes a really memorable campaign.
Liked it a lot. And then shortly after that, we moved on to Halo 5 Guardians,
Here it
I
is.
believe
Let's
it's
go.
called.
Let's go.
A game I heard the opposite about. I heard it was really bad. I was going into it expecting the worst, and I was actually pleasantly surprised because we're on like chapter 7, and I've been enjoying it so far. It's absolutely gorgeous. It's the best looking one by far for obvious reasons. It came out on Xbox One, and everything before it was 360 or below, 360 or below. So it's the best looking one. The gunplay, the first person shooting, I think it's really clean. Really tight. I like it a lot. The Promethean weapons I'm a huge fan of, and the designs of the Prometheans are pretty cool. The Covenant still look really good, and they play very well. More energy swords, which is always a plus. So liking that so far. And then the other thing with the story, you don't play as Chief throughout the whole game. It splits you between Team Blue or Blue Team or whatever Chief's team is,
Yeah.
and I forget what the first team. It's Locke's team. So you So the way multiplayer works is you just have to pick a character from each team. You and the person you're playing with. You pick 2 out of the 4 characters, or if you're playing with 4 people, I guess you play as everybody. And you just switch back and forth between the first Locke's team and then Chief's team. And that's just basically how the story is set up. And I know nobody likes Locke, but I found out recently that one of my favorite characters from ODST is in Locke's team. So I'm just playing as him, and I'm having an amazing time. So I came into this story probably liking it more than most people, just because I got to play as my favorite character. I mean, then on Chief's team, I just play as some random girl who he's apparently been friends with this whole time, named like Linda or something. It's a stupid name, but she's got a sniper rifle, so it's a lot of fun.
Dang.
Yeah, stupid Linda. No offense if your name is Linda. I'm sure it's a great. It's a bad name for 20, 50, 58 or whatever, but it's a great name now. I'm liking it a lot so far. I don't know how much worse it'll get story-wise. I don't care about Fox team other than the guy I play as, and I'm actively rooting against them when they go after Chief. And I know Logan's got a lot of gripes with the story focusing around Cortana in the Reclaimer trilogy, so
Yeah.
I'm sure he's got a lot more negatives to talk about.
Dude, I'm really enjoying this game. I think this is a redemption story for Halo 5, which I have previously listed as my biggest disappointment in games ever. But it's because it was just the pre-release narrative for this game in 2015 just dragged it through the mud. First, it was no split screen, and the Halo games are just meant to be multiplayer. They just are. And then it was just this huge marketing campaign of Locke versus Chief, like they're battling to find the truth. Oh, and Chief has gone rogue, and you have to hunt him down. And then it's just Chief's looking for Cortana. Because that's all that the story is ever about. Even Halo Reach is just about Cortana in the end. 1, 2, and 3, Cortana. 4, Cortana. ODST is the only one. The only one that's not about Cortana. Even 6 is going to be about Cortana, I have seen. And so I'm really frustrated that they have this enormous and don't use it. Because they're just like, oh, this AI matters more than anything else happening. So that bugs me. But everything else that bugged me at the time is no longer bugging me as much. Because I'm playing a multiplayer with Zach, and it's a great time. I think the gunplay, I think at the time I didn't like how much it was a departure from classic Halo, like how you can aim down sights, and there's a bunch of other stuff that's new. But now going back, removed from playing all the Halos, I'm like, I think the gunplay here is the best. I think it's the best that a Halo game plays. I love the charge attack that you have. I think that the new guns, what are they called?
Promethean weapons?
Yeah, the Promethean weapons are fantastic. The game is gorgeous. The story I just am not really caring about because it's just about Chief chasing Cortana and Locke chasing Chief, and that's all that's happening. But I really am enjoying the levels in the game. And it's a lot less frustrating because there's enemies designed to be taken down with multiple. And with no split screen, it was super frustrating. But now I have a partner, so it's easier to take them down. So, big fan of Halo 5 right now, which I never thought I would say.
See how the rest of it goes.
We're already further than I got on my own.
Dang.
So, yeah, big fan of it right now.
Big fan of
crazy.
Halo 5.
Yeah, it's good. I think it's because of the pre-release drama. I think it's probably an underrated Halo game. I think it's really solid. And I always liked 4 more than most people. So, maybe Infinite will be good. Because I like 4 and I like apparently.
Let's go. Yeah.
You like 343's work.
I do.
Good job, 343.
Yeah.
Ooh, all right.
Halo 5.
Crazy.
Then, other than those 2 Halos, I did start Life is Strange True Colors Wavelength, which is the $14 DLC. It was expensive. It wasn't worth it. This DLC is pretty meh. You play as Steph, a side character in True Colors. A year before the events of True Colors, she works in a record store. You play from the beginning of her job, and it's like divided into 4 sections, 4 parts of the year of her just in this record store alone. There's no one else in this DLC. It's just her.
No.
And you just like work on her dating profile. You like clean up the store. You like manage the booth. You take people's calls, but they're all really stupid. So it's just it's really kind of boring. And I'm only halfway through it, but I mean, the vibe's cool. and she's cool. But yeah, it's pretty meh for a $10 DLC. 14 after tax. It was like $12, 14 after tax.
Gross.
Round that down to make it sound, because I paid $14 for it, and that doesn't sit right with me. But it's all right. You really don't need to play it. You can just play True Colors. It does not really add anything to the story that you didn't know after playing True Colors.
Huh. All right.
That's about it.
It's good to know.
Good to know, as someone who will not play the base game either.
I started it. I saw my sister for a little bit over the weekend. We just played the first hour. It's a gorgeous game. It's the best looking one by far, I think. So it looks really nice. I like the characters so far. I don't have too much to say about it because we really just started the intro. And then Deathloop. Played another couple hours of that. Enjoying it. Really bad at it. Horrible at stealth. There's more stealth at the beginning than they let on.
Oh no.
Before you get super powered with all
Okay.
your guns and stuff. So I'm struggling a little right now, but I really like it. And yeah, that's it for me. Besides Wario. Always.
All right. We've been going on pretty long. Any final thoughts before we wrap this thing up?
Halo 5, try it out. Halo 5 Guardian, solid game.
Underrated.
Xbox on Game Pass.
Give it a
On
chance.
Game Pass.
100
Not in the Master
gigabytes.
Chief Collection.
100 gigabytes. Oh my god.
I didn't notice that when I installed it. It just replaced the
97.5
Master
or
Chief
something like that.
Collection.
It did. It
There
absolutely
goes a
was one
fourth
for
of
one.
your Series X.
Yeah.
Man. So crazy to me that thing is an all digital console in this day and age that only has 500 gigs?
512, baby.
It's a unicorn.
That's insanity. How did that thing it's pricing, definitely. It's like, how did that thing not have a terabyte? It's only digital.
Yeah.
Crazy.
$300. What can you do?
Yeah.
Supplement it with
It's
your
great.
own SSD.
But then just get the Series X. Like,
I know.
Or just juggle 4 games. Yeah,
Yep.
you know.
I can
That's what I've
actually
been
fit
doing.
more than I thought I'd be able to.
A lot of the games are like older Xbox
Yeah.
360 or Xbox games that are like basically nothing, so you can just stockpile on those from Game Pass. It doesn't really fill it up too fast.
That's good.
Scarlet Nexus, which came out like 3 months ago, just got added to Game Pass.
Oh,
So
completely
I might
forgot
try
about
that.
that game.
yeah,
What
got good
style of
reviews.
game was it?
It's basically Astral Chain.
Okay. Okay.
Very similar looking.
All right. That's what Game Pass is for. Those games that just like vanished and like, oh, hey, it's here. Like, I'll give it a shot.
Yeah.
All right. But that is going to do it for us on this week's episode of Ode to Games. We're here on Thursdays or Fridays on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, other podcast streaming services that you may use. OdaGames.com has the audio version of the podcast. The video version is up on YouTube at Ode Games, so you can watch the video version of the podcast there. We're on Twitter at Ode Games, Twitch, Ode Games as well. You can send an email to odegamescast@gmail.com. For Logan and Zach, I'm Kevin. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll catch you next week.